All right, let me wrap up with just one point, and then I'm going to let you go at 4 o'clock. A couple of quick things you can do to equip and engage your church. Obviously, I did not take a lot of time on this, but they're in your notes, and just a couple of things I hope you'll consider. You can engage by establishing a biblical foundation for human value. There are arguments out there that say the Bible is silent on abortion, therefore the Bible permits it. At that point, ask the person, are you telling me that whatever the Bible does not specifically condemn, it condones? Does the Bible anywhere say you can't use your neighbor for shark bait? No, but it does say that all human beings bear the image of their Maker, thus have value, therefore the shedding of innocent blood is strictly forbidden. On a related note, I'm going to make a suggestion here that may get me in hot water, and this is why I've saved this till the end when I can make a quick exit if I have to, okay? I'm no dummy. I think we need to stop using Psalm 139 to base our pro-life case. Why is that? Well, if you take a hermeneutics course, you learn right away that the biblical literature is not all the same. You don't interpret poetry the same way you interpret an epistle. If you want to learn about the doctrine of justification, where are you going to go to get it? Psalms or Romans? You're going to Romans, right? You don't interpret all Scripture the same way. Now, all Scripture, let me be clear, is inspired, infallible, inerrant. I'm not disputing any of that. I believe it's all those things. But all Scripture is not the same in the sense that we just have one interpretive grid for all of it. You interpret poetry different than you do an epistle. If that's true, we have to ask ourselves, what kind of literature is going on in the Psalms? What is it? Poetic. Is poetic literature meant to be taken literally at every point? No, it's not. And by the way, in Psalm 139, where David says, you knit me together in my mother's womb, he also says that he's having communion with God at the bottom of the sea. Do you want to take that literally? You see the problem we run into? So we have to be careful that we build our case on a solid foundation. Here's the way I think we should build a biblical case. And I've got it in my notes, and in my book I got a whole chapter on it. What we should do, rather than citing Psalm 139, we should argue, point 1, that all human beings have value because they bear the image of their Maker. Genesis 1:26, James 3:9, just to name a few scriptures. Second point, because humans bear the image of God, the shedding of innocent blood is strictly forbidden. Exodus 23:7, Proverbs 6:16-17, Matthew 5:21, to name just a few. All right, just with those two premises, all humans bear God's image and hence have value, thus the shedding of innocent blood is forbidden. What's the only question left to answer here? What is the unborn? Are they human? What has science established for us? That they are human beings, correct? Which means the same commands in Scripture that forbid the shedding of innocent blood that apply to other humans apply to who else? The unborn. I don't need Scripture to directly tell me the unborn are human any more than I need it to tell me directly Germans are human or the French are human. Some of you are laughing. Or Americans, okay? All I need to know is, are they human? And the science of embryology has established it is. Therefore, the commands against shedding innocent blood apply to the unborn just like they do everybody else. See, that takes away from your smart secular critic who will look at you and go, if you're citing 139, Psalm 139, that's a poetic passage. Guess what? We don't have a good reply to that. That critic has a good point. Now, does that mean that that scripture passage isn't teaching us something about God and His character? Of course it is. But it's not interpreted hermeneutically the same way we do other types of biblical literature, okay? Second thing you can do to engage your church, not only teach a human value that reflects God's image, but you also want to help lay people make that quick defense of the pro-life view. Science establishes from the very beginning the unborn are distinct, living, whole human beings. Philosophy establishes there's no essential difference between what we were in the womb and what we are today that would justify killing us. Our youth groups need this. I go all over the country speaking in Catholic and Protestant high schools, making a basic case for life. These kids have never heard it. Megan is right here. Wave at us, Megan, for those of you that don't know. Yesterday, she got blindsided. We told her we were sending her up to a Catholic high school in the San Fernando Valley where she'd speak to 220 kids. She spoke to 1,200 plus. They added all the kids in to see her. She got the whole school. And she made a basic case for the pro-life view. She's on our staff at Life Training Institute. Made a basic case for the pro-life view. And am I fair to say that a large number of those kids had never heard a defense of the pro-life view put the way they heard it?
They have an impressive pro-life club at the school, and the club members were so excited they didn't know what to do with themselves. So, yeah.
We need to be doing this and making this case for life. There is a video on our website called This is Abortion. It's a 1-minute video. I encourage you to go to prolifetraining.com and look at it. I usually show that video when I go out and speak. I show it in high schools. I show it in church youth groups. I show it in debates with Nadine Strawson because it makes the word abortion come alive to people. And this leads me to my third point. We also engage our churches by preaching a cross-centered gospel. Sometimes when I go to show that video, people say, if we show it, we're going to lay a guilt trip on people. And we want to spare them that. And I tell these pastors, no, if we don't show this video and we don't preach convincingly on abortion, we don't spare people guilt, we spare them healing, because unconfessed sin is keeping them out of full fellowship with Christ. And this, I'm telling you folks, the abortion issue is a wonderful opportunity to share the gospel. I don't care if I'm in a Protestant school, Catholic school, I share the gospel in my pro-life presentation. And I make it very clear that the gospel puts every one of us on the same footing, equally under the charge of guilt because of not only what we do in our actions, but because of what we are by nature. We are rebels against our Creator. We deserve only His wrath. And God, who had every right to wipe out the whole race, sent Jesus to bear in full His full wrath against sin so we wouldn't have to. And that means the solution for post-abortion men and women is not an excuse, it's an exchange. They need the righteousness of Christ instead of their own righteousness. And when we teach that great exchange, our sinfulness for Christ's righteousness, that's the message that brings healing. And by the way, the news still gets even better. Not only does God forgive us and exchange our sinfulness for Christ's righteousness because of what Jesus did, He turns right around the very God who had every right to destroy us for our rebellion. The same judge of the universe turns around because of what Jesus did and adopts us into His family as dearly beloved children. Talk about a message of hope to post-abortion men and women. That's it. And you know what happens when the church is silent on abortion? People don't get that cross-centered healing that they need so desperately. And that's your job, to encourage your spiritual leaders to take this thing on. This is not a distraction from the gospel. This gets us right to the heart of the gospel and why we need it. And we all need it. Every one of us has got a rap sheet a mile long just this week. Martin Lloyd-Jones put it real well. You never, ever, 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 ever outgrow your need to preach the gospel to yourself daily. That's right. You never outgrow it. Anytime someone tells you, I'm preaching now, I shouldn't be, but anytime someone tells you that you get saved by the gospel, then you move on to deeper spiritual things. Run the other way as fast as you can. We are born again through the gospel. We're sustained by the gospel. You will never outgrow your need for it. Ever. And yet, in our churches, time after time, I can tell you, our organization is told we don't want to wade into this, we're just not ready. Translation, we've got people still dead in their sins who don't want to hear about this, and we're content to leave them there. Wow. That's got to change. Got to change. All right, I have left other things for you in your notes, and I want to leave it there. One last thing I'll tell you. I encourage you to keep reading. Let me just quickly give you 5 titles that I hope you'll read. I know you're busy with this course, but when you get done with this course, here are 5 titles to read. I've found that if I can get people reading, I can usually get them animated to do something. So here are the 5 titles. Number 1, Read Frank Beckwith's book, Defending Life. Number 2, read Hadley Arkes's book, Natural Rights and the Right to Choose. Number 3, Peter Kreft's book, The Unaborted Socrates. It's a dramatic debate, very funny, very humorous, that just constantly brings the issue back to the question, what is the unborn?
Who wrote that?
Peter Kreft, K-R-E-E-F-T. I know it sounds like Kreeft, but it's actually, he pronounces it Kreft. The 4th book to read is called The Moral Question of Abortion by Stephen Schwartz. You can actually get this, you can buy the book, which I think you should do, but if you really want to get it for free, you can get it online, but it's a pain to read online because they've got it divided up into such small sections, you drive yourself nuts thumbing through pages on the website. I would just order it. It's worth the $10. And then finally, I do suggest you take a look at a book called The Case for Life by an unnamed author. So, all right, listen, folks, you have been a fantastic audience, and thank you for being here. It's 4 o'clock. May God bless you as you continue your education to learn about bringing Him glory through the knowledge He gives you. Let's go out there and make a difference, shall we?
Biola University offers a variety of biblically centered degree programs, ranging from business to ministry to the arts and sciences. Visit biola.edu to find out how Biola could make a difference in your life.